Imagine standing at the edge of a forest so vast that you can't see where it ends. Trees stretch for miles in every direction. No roads, no farms, no towns, just an endless wall of wood. Now imagine someone tells you, "We're going to build a city here." Today, a few chainsaws, bulldozers, and excavators could begin the job almost immediately. But for most of human history, none of those machines existed. So here's the question. Before chainsaws, how did people clear entire forests? At first, the answer seems obvious. Axes. People used axes. Mystery solved. Except, it isn't. Because the moment you start thinking about the numbers, the answer stops making sense. A single mature tree can weigh several tons. A large forest contains thousands of them. Entire countries cleared millions. And every tree had to be cut down by hand. No gasoline, no engines, no electricity, just human muscles. So the real mystery isn't how they cut down a tree. It's how they removed enough trees to transform entire landscapes. And cutting the tree wasn't even the hardest part. Imagine spending hours swinging an axe. The tree finally creaks. It starts to lean. Then it falls. The ground shakes. Victory! Except now there's a problem. The stump. The part hidden underground. Many stumps were wider than a person was tall. Their roots spread in every direction like giant wooden anchors. Even if the tree was gone, the stump remained, and you couldn't plow a field through a forest full of stumps. You couldn't easily build roads. You couldn't plant crops. So people discovered something frustrating. The tree wasn't the real obstacle. The stump was. This created a strange sight that modern people rarely see. For years, sometimes decades, farmers worked around stumps instead of removing them. Imagine a field dotted with hundreds of massive tree stumps, horses weaving between them, plows constantly changing direction, farmers planting crops around obstacles left by a vanished forest. Some early settlers described fields that looked more like obstacle courses than farms. Removing every stump simply took too much labor, so people adapted. The forest was technically gone, but parts of it remained everywhere. Then people discovered something surprising. You didn't always need to chop down every tree. Sometimes fire could do part of the work. Long before chainsaws existed, controlled burning was used across many parts of the world. A tree that resisted an axe could often be weakened by fire. Large areas could be cleared faster than cutting everything individually. Indigenous peoples in many regions deliberately used fire to manage landscapes, encourage certain plants, improve hunting grounds, and reduce dense undergrowth. What looked like untouched wilderness was often being carefully managed. The forests wasn't always as wild as later settlers believed. That realization changes the story completely. Humans weren't simply fighting forests. In many places, they were reshaping them. But even with fire, axes, and endless labor, some trees were simply enormous. To remove them, people turned to another source of power. Animals. Oxen. Teams of horses. Massive chains. Heavy ropes. Levers. Winches. Entire crews working together. A single stubborn stump could require days of effort. In some cases, people even used gunpowder and explosives. Imagine standing in a quiet forest centuries ago and hearing a sudden blast as workers tried to rip a giant stump from the earth. Forest clearing wasn't a simple job. It was often a battle between people and roots. And the roots frequently won. Now scale that struggle up. Not one tree, not one field, millions of acres. The farms that fed growing populations, the roads that connected towns, the timber that built ships, the land that became cities. Much of it began with somebody standing in front of a tree holding an axe. Generation after generation repeated the process. Parents cleared land, children expanded it, grandchildren finished what their families started. Some forests took centuries to transform. Entire landscapes changed because countless people spent their lives doing exhausting work that left almost no visible trace behind. Today, A chainsaw can cut through a tree in minutes. You pull a cord, the engine roars to life. The job begins. It's easy to forget how extraordinary that is, because before chainsaws, every fallen tree represented hours of labor. Every cleared field represented years of effort. And every city, farm, road, and settlement carved out of that forest was built on an almost unimaginable amount of human work. The next time you pass a field, a town, or road that cuts through woodland, consider this. For most of history, none of it disappeared with the push of a button. Someone had to swing the axe, and then do it again, and again, and again, until the forest was gone.